Hello everyone. Today we're looking at BitCom, which is, according to my manual, a communications program for IBM personal computers and compatibles. This is it's a communications program. So many of you might be too young to remember this, but back in the day before the internet really took off, I mean, a sort of internet existed back then, but it wasn't very common for home users to have access to the internet. And so when computers had modems, and even back then a lot of computers didn't have any kind of communications device like that, but if you had a telephone modem, which you might use to connect to a BBS or something like that, then you would probably need a communications program to basically to control the modem and show you what the modem was sending and receiving. You probably don't have anything like this in your computer today because most computers don't have telephone modems today, and even if your computer does have a telephone modem, you probably couldn't find a system to connect it to, since BBSs are kind of a thing of the past. But back in the day, back in the late 1980s and early 1990s, BitCom was a fairly common program for this kind of thing. And I still have my original manual. I seem to have lost the disk, unfortunately, but I kept the manual and I still have the paper manual right here in my hand. It's the Abbreviated User's Manual, 9th edition, January 1989. So this manual is from 1989. The manual is already almost 30 years old, and this is the 9th edition. So I can easily imagine that older editions of the software must have gone well back into the 1980s. Anyway, so yeah, it's from Bit Software Incorporated on 830 Hillview Court, Suite 160 in Milpitas, California, zip code 95035, if anybody wants to drive there and see what became of Bit Software. Copyright Bit Software Incorporated, 1984 to 1989, all rights reserved. So anyway, I'm not going to read out the whole manual because it mostly just tells you stuff that you can either see in the program anyway, or it talks about things like setting up your modem. But let's go ahead and take a look at this program. So I found this program on a website. I think the website is called Useless Software, which is a bit unfair because I think the program is quite useful, or at least it was quite useful. I mean, again, today it's not very useful because you probably don't have a modem in your computer, and even if you did have one, you probably couldn't find a BBS or other modem-connected system to connect it to. But I think BitCom at least was a very useful program. I used it a lot when I was a kid, when I was around, when I was a teenager, I often used this to dial into BBSs and do all the things that people did with BBSs back then. So let's go ahead and take a look at this this directory. This is completely unmodified from the, this is the software exactly as I got it from the zip file on the website, bitcom.zip. I just extracted it into this directory, and this is what it looks like. So most of these look like help files, which I think you can view within the program itself. We don't really need to view them here. Actually, what do they look like? I wonder if I just try to look at, for example, something like main.help. Yeah, this is literally just the end program help. So you can view it here as text files, or you can view it within the program. I guess it doesn't really matter. Those two terminal emulation files at the bottom are probably not very interesting. There is also, you see that file called cpu.asm. You might think that that's an assembly language file, but it's not. It's I actually don't know what it is, but it's not assembly language, so it's not as interesting as you might think. And then yeah, you have ANSI emulation, and yeah, okay. Well, let's go ahead and run BitCom and let's see what the program looks like. So here we go. You get just 4 options. Very simple, right? So number 4 is just issue a DOS command. This kicks you out to a DOS prompt like this, which is nice, I guess, but we don't really need that. How do I get out of this? Do I have to run BitCom again? Normally if you type exit, it takes you out of a... Okay, that was weird. I wonder is BitCom running on top of BitCom now? I don't know. Anyway. Invoke script file number 2 doesn't really do very much. I mean, this lets you, I guess you can load and create scripts if you want, which I never did. I never really bothered with that, but that's interesting if you want to make a scripted dial. And then, yeah, number 3 is change configuration. So this is, here you see all those AT commands. Remember AT commands that were used to control modems back in the day? So you had ATD to dial, and then there was ATDT to do a tone dial, which I always did. And I guess there was ATDP to do a pulse dial, but I never actually used that because already in the early 1990s, tone dialing had pretty much replaced pulse dialing. So, I mean, yeah, this is all fairly standard stuff. Of importance down here is the COM port. Obviously, you need to, I mean, printer's not that important. You probably wouldn't use the printer much with this program, but you do, of course, need to configure the correct COM port, which could be COM 1 through 4. I'll leave it on COM 3 where it was, even though I don't think it really matters because, again, I don't actually have a... I mean, I'm running this in DOSBox anyway. I think DOSBox does have the ability to emulate COM ports, but I don't have anything set up to do that, so I don't think it will work. But, yeah, the main draw is the first item, of course, number 1, select and edit phone numbers. And here you see a phone book, basically, a list of phone numbers with descriptions. Again, this has not been modified. Everything you see here is exactly the program as it is when I downloaded it from that website. So I don't know who put in these phone numbers or what most of them are for. I mean, I assume most of these are for BBSs. Like here you see 5-star BBS, so that must have been a BBS back in the day, which probably doesn't exist anymore. Alien, I don't know, probably, maybe it was a BBS called Alien. You might wonder what zip code, sorry, not zip code, what area code these are for. I think these are 415, which is San Francisco, and I base that on the fact that down here at the bottom you see a couple of references to SFSU VAX. Now, SFSU is San Francisco State University, which is in the 415 area code because 415 is San Francisco. And in fact, if you look up this phone number here, 338-2400, there is still, even now as I speak, I just looked it up before making this video, there is still a reference on SFSU's FTP site containing a modem dialing file which contains information on how to access their VAX system, and it does include this very phone number. So I don't know if San Francisco State University still has a VAX system, but I guess they had one 30 years ago, and somebody must have been connecting to it from this. And since these numbers don't contain any area code, I assume that that must be area code 415. The person using this must have been in area code 415, and therefore I assume that the rest of these numbers are probably also 415 since none of them contain an area code. So, yeah, I don't know why this one says ouch. Oh, I see that. I'm just realizing the 4 digits at the end of the phone number must be the baud rate. So they must have set up this number for 2,400 baud users and then this one for 1,200 baud users. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's why it says ouch, because this is slow, 1,200 baud. Well, 2,400 baud wasn't very fast either, but that was what I had back in the day because that was the fastest available at the time when we got our first PC in 1991. MIDI, I don't know what that is. This is probably a BBS. Genie, man, remember Genie? Yeah, I was never a Genie user, but I remember those old the old information systems. There was CompuServe, there was Genie, there was Prodigy, and then there was America Online, and all of those existed before. Oh yeah, and Bix. All those existed before the internet became kind of the standard gateway. Dork. I don't know what Catholic is or why there's a 666 in the description. Again, I didn't create any of these. These have been created by someone else, some San Franciscan who apparently left their phone book in the program when they uploaded it. So anyway, and for each of these, you can press S. See at the bottom, the options are A for answer, D for dial, C for connect, or S for show more. So you can press S to show basically. Most of these are probably not very important. I guess pretty important are these communications options. I mean, yeah, you want to make sure the baud rate is correct. Parity, yeah, I mean, fairly standard back in the day was no parity, 8 data bits and 1 stop bit. No echo, mode call, flow control, X on, X off. So you can do RTS, CTS. You can do no flow control. You can do X on, X off. Mode can be call or answer or direct. I believe direct means not through a telephone, but with a null modem cable. Remember null modem cables? Yeah, that was a thing back in the day. Basically, you would connect 2 modems through a serial cable, and they would connect not by dialing a telephone, but just by a direct cable connection. So all this, how high can our baud go? We've got 4800, we've got 9600 even. Wow, we've got, really? You can go up to 19,200. Did they even have modems this fast back in the, I know that, I mean, of course, modems, the fastest modems ended up being 56K, but those didn't exist in the very early 1990s. Those didn't come out until later. Because I remember, I think our 2400 baud modem was the fastest available at the time when we got that computer. Well, it could have been that this person, it says the last connect date for this was 1993, so maybe this person was using this program at a time when, well, yeah, but that doesn't explain the program though, because the software, the program itself is from 1991, I believe, so I don't know if they even had 19,000 baud modems back in the day, but anyway, whatever. So yeah, so you can set the baud as high as 19,200 or as low as 110. I don't think that this was even a standard. I think the first standard was 300 baud, wasn't it? Like the first real computer modems were 300 baud, and then it went to 1200, and then there was 2400. Anyway, so yeah, and then yeah, you can go through the keys and filters, which I never bothered with. Capture fraud, yeah, emulation ANSI, if you can use ANSI emulation or VT, was it VT100 or something like that? Anyway, and it seems at the bottom you can press F3 for Kermit, and here you can even configure Kermit parameters. Now, I never used Kermit, but it was another communications protocol that some systems did use, but most BBSs didn't, and so I guess that's why I didn't use it. It was used by some, I guess, more professional systems, but I never actually did anything with Kermit. So yeah, here's Genie, boy. Oh, there's even, at the bottom in the notes, there's even a 1-800 number that you can call if you have problems. Here's the voice line for problems. I'm going to guess, I'm not actually going to call that number, but I will very strongly guess that if you call that number, it doesn't actually take you to Genie customer service anymore. Maybe it did at one point in time, but probably not now. And yeah, so you can press C to directly connect with a system, and it actually, oh yeah, COM3 not functional, so it won't, I guess it won't work. And I guess if you press D, you'll probably get the same. Yeah. I like the beep that it makes. That's a very IBM PC beep that it makes. But yeah, of course, because I don't have a working modem here, I can't do either a direct connect or a phone dial connect. But yeah, normally what you would do is you would just use the up and down arrow keys to select the system that you want, and then you would just press D to dial, and then you'd get into dial mode, and you'd see the communications on the screen, and you'd hear the modem dialing, and then you'd connect and see whatever the remote system sent to you. I guess I can't answer either. Yeah, if I press A, you can press A to put the modem into answer mode and wait for a call, for an incoming call to come in, but I can't even do that here because, again, the COM port's not functional, so I can't really do anything with this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess that's pretty much all that there is to see in this program. It doesn't seem like a lot, and I guess it isn't, but I guess that's the point. The program is designed to be fairly simple. In fact, I think it says here, if I pick up the manual again, let's see, the very first section is Section 1, Introduction, and the first text in the introduction says, BitCom is a very easy-to-use communications software package that will provide you with many features not found in other communications software. So I think this, well, I don't know about the whole many other features thing, but it's designed to be easy to use. I mean, I guess it's designed to not have a whole ton of features. And really, what do you need? I mean, I used this extensively back in the day, and you really didn't need anything much other than just to be able to create an entry here, which was not much more than a name and a phone number, and then press D for dial. And then you dial in and start communicating, and that was it. That was really all there was. So, yeah, it's very simple, very straightforward, but it was certainly good enough. It was certainly enough to dial into BBSs and things like that back in the day. And even now, you know, you look at this and you just think, this is real stuff, man. This is real computing. This is really what an IBM PC compatible should be doing. So I don't know why why people play games like Crisis or BioShock or whatever kind of games people are playing today. I mean, why would you want to play a game like that when you could be configuring Kermit? That's really where it's at. This is, and even today, I think this is really, this is really what all software should be like. No graphics, just a character interface with nice colors. I mean, look at the colors. You know, you've got that beautiful green border that that surrounds the text here, and then the text is in those nice shades of gray, and here you've got this nice yellow to kind of add emphasis. I mean, this is all the colors that a computer program needs. Anything more than this is just too complicated. You're just making things too complicated for the user. So yeah. Anyway, I guess this is it. That's really all that there is to show. Well, let's look at the help. Here we go. Here's the in-program help, and you can use page up and page down to scroll through it. So, oh, this is the last page here. I think if I go into here, I can get more help. Here we go. Here's more helpful help. Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, again, what more do you want? The program even contains in-program help. So you've got help explaining all you need to know about this. You've got a program that will tell your modem to dial a system, and then when you're dialed in, you can start interfacing with the system and do whatever you want with it. Best software ever. I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why it made the prompt look like this. That's kind of weird, but anyway. Okay, well, I guess that's all there is to show. This has been BitCom, a communications program for IBM personal computers and compatibles. Really awesome modem communications software. I certainly have good memories about it because I used it back in the day, but I think even if you didn't use it back in the day, even for those of you who have never used this program or seen it before, I think you can clearly see that this is the future of computing. I mean, this is really where computing is going. I mean, all this internet stuff will eventually be subsumed by real modems that you can control with advanced software like this. So I'm looking forward to that day. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope that you enjoyed. Hope that this was at least somewhat interesting. And I will talk to you folks later. Bye-bye for now.